Hello, this is Beverly with the Intuitive Interior, and it's already September 2022, and this is the energy reading for basically from September 7th through October 7th. So, well, first of all, let me just say, whew, making it through that monkey month last month for most of August, that was a bit rough for many of us, between illness and car accidents and just job weirdness and lots of discombobulations. I can't even say it since I'm still recording this in the monkey month. Anyway, yay, made it through. Woo! So just a reminder, those kind of clash months with, whatever the year is, the reason why they're so challenging, again, it's kind of, think of it as sandpaper. So we all now have a lot of smooth edges, and it just required a little bit of, well, getting roughed up. Anyway, the rooster month, a little bit different here. So first of all, Yin Earth is more like the soil. So it's going to be more growth oriented. It's going to be more soft textures, cozy feeling. Yes, we're moving into fall, but Yin Earth has nothing to do necessarily with fall. It just, that's how the elements rotate through. So again, Yin Earth growth, keep that in mind. Soil, dirt, it can also be sands, shifting sands. So there could be a little bit of that instability feeling going on. Rooster energy, it's about crowing, it's about getting yourself known, the whole cock-a-doodle-doo, and a little bit of strutting your stuff. So this is going to be a month where some people are going to be probably strutting around trying to prove their worth. So and flipping up sand and just the dust and dust storm. I think you're starting to get the idea that while there's an opportunity to really get yourself out there, to really take that extra level, that extra step of self-promotion, planting those seeds, it's also very important this whole month to make sure that you keep an eye out on those who are maybe doodling too much. Anyway, so the cards, again, my little I Ching cards here, they tied right along with what I've already been feeling going on for this month. First of all, this first one that we have here, it's card number 23. It's the focus line is 2. This is right here. This is Kun, is the Yin Earth trigram. Underneath Gun. Gun is the Yang Earth trigram. This card title is called Splitting Apart, and it talks about impermanence. Remember I was just talking about the dirt, shifting sands, collapse, deterioration, separation, let go, surrender, eliminate the old, and death. So again, death is another transformation. It could be that it's just simply time for the old projects, the old relationships that, maybe you've had a wonderful run of something and it's just time to go home. I remember as a child, I hated, I loved going to sleepovers, but I hated having to leave the next day because, you have so much fun and you just don't want it to stop. But there's a natural life cycle for everything, including the good stuff. So the focus line 2, because it's here on the bottom, so everything goes from the bottom to the top. So focus line, here's this little, the dotted line there. That means that there's going to be a conflict with stuff that's in your outside world and how you're perceiving it. So it says you're feeling more and more isolated. Yet those who are close are either unable or unwilling to be supportive. Don't act out of fear or neediness. It is far wiser to adjust to loneliness than to surround yourself with inferior choices. Refrain from doubting or negative thinking. Stay neutral and suspend inner judgments, as they simply add more weight to an already cumbersome situation. So yeah, say you had a car accident, you just sit there and beat yourself up because, oh, well, if I would have turned right instead of turning left, or maybe if I would have been more aggressive and moved over, then my indecision would have confused the other person, or maybe I was too aggressive and thought I could do something that I couldn't. You know what? The reality is, deal with the situation as it is. The more you go back and you beat yourself up, the worse you're going to make your month and, well, quite frankly, your life. Remember, how you talk to yourself, if it's not the same way that you would talk to your best friend, then perhaps you might want to change how you're talking to yourself. So again, the splitting apart, it's not always a bad thing, because again, that decision to try to keep things going when the time has come for it to end. You wouldn't be drinking milk that is a month past its expiration date. You'd be tossing that, right? At least I hope you would be. You might make yourself sick if you don't. The same thing goes with whatever else project you're working on. Maybe it's time to say, oh, okay, I've put enough money into this particular project. Maybe it's time to just, be done and look at those sunk costs as a class that you would have paid for, some course, a life lesson, the life university. We've all had those times when we spent a lot of money on something thinking, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be great. And it just didn't turn out like that. That's okay. You learn something and move on. All right. So the other thing too that this card also really again brings about is that concept of, like the surrender, the eliminating the old. Again, the old isn't always bad. It's because we have this duality, this light and dark, this, either it's always polarity. Even with feng shui and Chinese metaphysics in general, you have the yin yang symbol. So right here, or you can see that there's the black little comma thing, and then the white over here. But both of them have the other colors embedded in there. The situation is simply a situation. We as humans, because of the training that we've had by and large to think of things either being good or bad, or black or white, one or the other, we forget, and we have to kind of retrain ourselves to look at things as just, we're the ones who are ascribing positive or negative attributes to it. Speaking as a woman, I've often been told that, darn, your body shape, your figure, you were just born in the wrong generation. Because apparently I would have been fitting in quite nicely with an hourglass figure. Well, hourglass before age and menopause took over. I apparently was perfect for the 40s. Not so much for those twiggy years of the 70s when I learned how to hate my body because I wasn't fashionably proportioned. It's that kind of situation I'm talking about. That's one of the examples. So, it's not good or bad. It's just there are different ways of looking at things. Okay, I'm beating that up. So the next one is card number 30. This is a real easy one because both of these here, these are the Li trigrams. They are both fire elements. So this is the pure fire card. It's called the clinging. The clinging, it's fire, illumination, inspiration, devotion, and all-consuming passion, regeneration, spirituality, virtue, and enlightenment. Fire is so the fire gua, it goes with to number 9. This kind of gives us a little bit of an idea of what we can look forward to starting in 2024. We've already been building up to this, so we're kind of getting into the weeds here, period 8 versus period 9. But what this is talking about is that passion, that drive, that literally jumping from the frying pan into the fire is what are the colloquialisms that I grew up with. That admonition to you look before you leap. I know there's a lot of talk about take the first step, go out in faith, the path will be there. And so with this movie, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and how Harrison Ford's character steps out onto over this what looks like a cliff, but turns out there's an invisible bridge there. It doesn't always work out like that. A little bit of caution is not a bad thing. So this focus line is number 4. Now again, 4, because it's right here, so it's the bottom of the top trigram, and because that is a solid line when technically it's supposed to be the broken line. Anyway, long story short, it is something that you're again seeing outside, and how you are dealing, how your perspective perhaps needs to shift on the inside, so that you can get clarity on that. Because the focus line on this is 4s. Well, this actually has come up before. I remember reading this at some point in time. It says the moth beating against the window in an effort to reach the lighted candle inside the house does nothing but exhaust itself. Better to devote your attention to increasing your awareness and self-remembrance. The glass between you and that flame might be trying to protect you from harm, but you won't know that until you can manage to settle down and gather your wits about you. Again, the clinging, it's almost as if that invention is really what started the progress of humanity, that we were able to overcome our fear of fire, to find ways to work with it. With the in feng shui, the fire element, it either can be like this big sun source that is it shines on everybody, and that yang fire is this life-giving, incredibly generous nature, but there's no discrimination. It just, everybody gets it. The yin fire is, well, like the candles here in the back. They are, one single tea light can light up an entire room. It's that almost mesmerizing, comforting glow, that inspirational person who is trying to lead by example. So fire is incredible for being a life-giving and inspirational element. And when not taken seriously, or when allowed to grow unchecked, it'll clear a whole path. Not in ways you really want. There's a lot of destruction that happens when that fire energy gets completely unchecked. So the letting those unchecked passions or those unquestioned leaders take over often leads to destruction. Boundaries are extremely important when you're dealing with fire. So because this is showing up, it may be that you have to burn some bridges, but it may be that you have to find a candle snuffer just so that you can get some perspective. All right, the last card is this number 28, excess. This bottom trigram is the Sun trigram. It's yin wood. The top trigram is Dui, which is yin metal. This is all about stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, gluttony, burdens, worries, and the breaking point. And again, this has come up before too. You can look at that guy, you know, with all of the stuff that he's carrying. So where we get to look at now is, where are we holding on to things we don't need to hold on to anymore? This line, focus line, is line 3. And I know that while this card came up before, we had a different focus line. So I'm really glad this is the, and something new that everybody can enjoy. This is called Waking Up from a Nightmare is much easier than waking up from a sweet dream. But even if the dream is sweet, that doesn't change the fact that the person dreaming is asleep. You can keep on dreaming as long as you like, but don't complain if an earthquake comes along and tosses you out of bed onto the floor. Because this is the focus line, because this is right here on the number 3, so it's where it's supposed to be the solid line. That means that it's more congruent. This is a perfect month, perfect timing for all of us to see where have we been deluding ourselves? Where have we been living in la la land and not taking a hard look at what's around us? I have been hearing, because again, with feng shui, water equals money equals life. It's all tied in. I have been noticing so many stories of global water issues, whether it is massive flooding, destroying, you know, thousands of miles of roads and buildings and homes and everything in Pakistan, to cities in like the capital of Jackson, I guess Mississippi. Oh, now I've my brain cramp on that. But where people are not even having drinking water, where they're having to boil water, where you know, our next door neighbor has a well, their well has gone dry because we're suffering droughts. We have water issues everywhere that we're going to have to stop dreaming that we can use the same amount of water that we were used to in the past. It just isn't sustainable. It's not sustainable to try to grow almond trees in a desert. It's not sustainable to have green grass when there's not enough water to drink downstream. So, you know, that again kind of ties in with some of that fantasy land. I mean, we all love fantasy. I mean, heck, look at Hollywood. They're feeding us so many fantastical movies. You know, superheroes, we can't live in the Marvel universe. We live here. And it doesn't mean that we have to be depressed about everything, but we do have to take a strong, hard look at, where are we still holding on to expectations that were given to us by people who didn't have to deal with the same situation that we're dealing with right now. That is the excess piece. That is how are we making our life more difficult by holding on to old expectations. That's part of that excess. That's part of that chucking the baggage. You know, you've always heard that story of, you know, the backpack, you know, that how you do things. You got to get the important things done first, and you put the different rocks in the jar. You got the big rocks in the jar, and then you can put smaller rocks in, you know, smaller activities, and then you can put sand in, and you know, it's all these different things. Well, guess what? We're also carrying all that stuff as if it was a backpack. You know what? The majority of stuff in that backpack, that inherited belief, you don't need to keep anymore. You can keep the lessons, you can keep the wisdom, but a lot of the other stuff you can let go. It's actually what I do with the intuitive coaching piece of my work. You know, I don't just do these readings. I don't just do feng shui. I don't just do date selection for when somebody is trying to, you know, find a date to get married or you know, start a position or even have a doctor's appointment. I do the work. I help my clients find ways to mentally, metaphorically release that backpack and to let go of, you know, what kind of hyper mesmerized situation you're in that keeps you stuck in the fire, and how to deal with the endings. That's all part of what the intuitive interior, what I do. Anyway, September is going to be less challenging in some ways than August. And it will have, when these things are out there, you're just going to have to wake up out of that sleep, out of the slumber. Stop letting whatever that passion, whatever the flames that have been mesmerizing you, keeping you in your la la land, so that you can recognize what gets to stay and what gets to go. And then you can toot your horn and cock-a-doodle-doo all day long saying, I did it. Yay, yay me. So, all right. I appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your day.